everyone, today I'm here to do yet again another mashup review. I have been doing a lot of these on my channel these past couple of months, and I hope that you are enjoying them because I really love doing them. If you're unfamiliar, like I say every single time, mashup reviews on my channel more specifically are videos where I usually take 3 books, usually kind of within the same genre, review them all in that single video. Put them all in one video because I find it much more easier to do, I find it quicker, I find it easier for you guys to watch. Watch one video and learn my thoughts and opinions about 3 books. So I really love doing these mashup reviews, and I hope you like them as well. I keep doing these for the unforeseeable future because they're just fun to do. Like, I love going more in depth in talking about these books because usually I don't think I would review these. I would talk these more in my wrap up, but with these mashup reviews, I can really go into a little bit more depth than what I usually would. Today's mashup review is another YA contemporary one. As always, I will leave the timestamps down below where I talk about each individual book in case you're interested in hearing my thoughts on one particular book instead of watching the whole video. So all the timestamps for each of these books will be down below. Today, I will be talking about Coming Up for Air by Miranda Keelaney, To Say Next by Julie Buxbaum, and Changes in Latitude by Jen Malone. So without further ado, let's get into this mashup review. First up, I'm going to talk about Coming Up for Air by Miranda Keelaney. This is the last book in her 100 Oaks series, I believe. And if you're wondering if you need to read every single book in that series to read this book, no, you do not. I did not. I have not read every single book in the 100 Oaks series. I've only read maybe 2, maybe 3. Yeah, this is the 8th and last one. So I've read maybe 3. This may be my 4th one. But either way, with this series, you do not need to read all of the books in this series to read like the next book. Does that make sense? A lot of contemporary series the same way. They're not like sequels, but they're more like companions. You might see characters from previous novels pop up, but it's not necessary that you need to read the other books in the series. So take that for example. I have not read all of the books in the series. Either way, this follows Maggie. Maggie is a competitive swimmer. She loves swimming. She's been swimming ever since she was a little girl. She is on our high school swim team. She's going to college on a swimming scholarship, and she's also trying to get on the Olympic swimming team. So Maggie's got a lot going on for her, as well as her best friend Levi. Levi is also a swimmer. They're also kind of within the same branch of competitive swimming. He's also, you know, getting swimming scholarships, and he's also trying to compete for the Olympic swimming team. Maggie's whole life has been about swimming. She's not had like a quintessential high school life, always been about swimming. So when she makes a visit to the college she's actually attending, she realizes how much she's really missed out on the high school life. When she comes back, she decides to maybe ask Levi to kind of help her with that, trying to get her a little bit more experience, if you get what I'm saying. That's what this whole book is about, is these 2 best friends maybe becoming something more, attempting to be kind of friends with benefits. Of course, you can already tell a lot of times friends with benefits is usually a recipe for disaster. Either way, I really enjoyed this book. Miranda Keelaney's books are either a hit or a miss for me. I've read a couple of her books and I was like so-so about them, but I've read another couple of her books and I really enjoyed them. And I really enjoyed this one as well. I find that I like her books when they focus kind of like on a sport or a particular subject. The other book that I really love by Miranda Keelaney is called Breathe, Annie, Breathe, and Annie was really in that book trying to participate in this marathon, honor her deceased boyfriend. And in this book, obviously it's about swimming, so I really like when she writes particular subjects and sports about that because I really love learning more about them. Like, I love learning more about the world of competitive swimming, and I really liked Maggie as a character. She was just an amazing character to read about, and I really love how this book talks a lot about the S word. It talks a lot about sex and teenage sex, and I think that that's important to talk about and it shouldn't be shied away from. I think the more knowledge the better, and I like the way Miranda Keelaney approaches it. She doesn't approach it distastefully at all. She really kind of informs you. And I also love the romance between Maggie and Levi. It was just adorable. So overall, I would say this is a perfect summer read. We're still in July, coming up in August, so it's still summertime. Perfect summer read because of the swimming aspect, because of the romance, and I really enjoyed this book. So yeah, if you've been interested in Miranda Keelaney's books before and you've just been kind of so-so about them, I would say I would definitely recommend this book. I gave this book a 3.75 out of 5. If we're gonna get super technical, I really enjoyed it. The book I want to talk about is What to Say Next by Julie Buxbaum. Very first read of 2017 was Julie Buxbaum's first book called Tell Me 3 Things, which I enjoyed. It wasn't my favorite contemporary read, but I enjoyed it. And I have to say I enjoyed this one as well. I might enjoy it a little bit more than Tell Me 3 Things because of the subject tone of this book, honestly. This is all about a girl named Kit, and her father has recently died, and it's about her coping with that, learning how to deal with it. You know, her and her mother, you know, going down this road that they never envision themselves. And so one day Kit sits down at her not usual lunch table. She sits with this guy named David, who has always sit by himself, and they form a friendship, and also follows David. David is on the autism spectrum, and you really get to learn more about him and learn about his relationship with Kit and how they become friends and maybe more. So this book deals with a lot of things. It talks a lot about death, it talks a lot about grieving, it talks a lot about mental health and autism and things of that, and it was such a beautiful read. Autism is very, very near and dear to my heart because autism is a very, very wide and vast spectrum. The saying goes, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Every single person that has autism is different by leaps and bounds. So I thought Julie Bunkstrom handled it greatly. I love David. I love learning more about him and how he, how he operates in his head and how he, is trying to learn how to talk to people because he's, has a hard time socially. And I just really love the relationship and how they came together. I also love Kit. Kit's dealing with a lot. She's dealing a lot with her dad dying. She learns a lot of secrets about her mom, and that really shakes things up a bit, and she's learning how to grieve. And it was just an overall really, really beautiful book. It deals with a lot of important topics, honestly. So I definitely recommend this because it'll make you feel, and it'll make you smile, and it might make you cry. But either way, it was a very, very beautiful book talking a lot about an important subject, which I love those every now and then. So I gave this one also a 3.75 out of 5. It was a little bit short. I would have liked it to be a little bit longer and the plot to be a little bit thicker, if that makes sense. I wanted a little bit more oomph for it, but either way, I really enjoyed it. The last book I'm going to talk about today is Changes in Latitude by Jen Malone. This is my least favorite of these books that I read, sad to say, but I had such high hopes when I started this book, and I'll be honest, I was happy when I finished it. I don't like talking about books. I really don't enjoy, honestly. It's not a very fun subject for me. I don't love coming on my videos on reviews particularly and just bashing books. I don't like that because every person has different preferences. Just because I don't like this book, somebody else probably loves it, and I think that's great. To each their own. But I feel like it's important to be honest. I like this book. I didn't love it. I thought it could have been so much more, honestly. It is the perfect summer read. When I think of summer reads, I do think of this book because it screams summer. This is all about a girl named Cassandra, or Cass. Her parents just divorced, and she's really reeling from that. Besides, it's bringing on them that they're going to take a 4-month sailing trip from Oregon all the way down to Mexico because her mom is just recently got laid off from a job, and she knows how to sail, and somebody has paid her to sail their boat down from Oregon down to Mexico. So it's a 4-month trip. Cass is not looking forward to it at all. She's very, very in a rocky relationship with her mother because of the divorce. She feels like her mother was 100% the reason why her family has fallen apart. She's not happy to be leaving her home. She's not happy to be leaving her friends. She's just not happy about going on this sailing trip at all. And then she meets this other guy that's also on a sailing trip because they're all kind of sailing together. It's 3 other boats, and of course a romance develops, and basically that's what this book is all about. It's about sailing, and I love that aspect of this book. I loved reading more about sailing and learning how to, and the starboard and other things like that. I love that. I also love, there was a big section in this book where they went on a tour of San Francisco, and I fell in love with that section. But that's where my love ends. I think my main problem with this book is the main character, Cass. She was quite literally the worst. She just complained and then complained and then complained, and then when she wasn't complaining, she was complaining or she was sulking. She was very, very upset for the good majority of this book, and I get it. It's teenager angst. I get it. I was a teenager once. I don't think I was as angsty, but it was, when you're a teenager, it's angst city. I get that. But I feel like she didn't even want to give her mom a chance. Her mom kept trying to talk to her and trying to, let her say her feelings, let her, just have a talk with her, and she kept pushing her mom away more and more, and she was just so upset about every single thing, and she really, I think, made me not love this book because of her. I get why she was written like that, because at the last half of the book, of course, things, all get happy and, not spoiling anything, but I just wanted this book to be more, and I just really didn't enjoy her. So, sad to say, I gave this book a 2.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed the whole premise and the whole plot behind it, and the side characters were amazing, but the main character really just hindered my love for this book, and If you love this book, I am so happy that you did. I just sadly did not. So there you have my thoughts and opinions on these 3 books. All of these were good. One, maybe not so much. But either way, if you have read any of these, please let me know down in the comments down below. Do you feel the same as me? Do you disagree? And by the way, if you disagree, that is 100% okay. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed these Mashup reviews, give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe to see 3 bookish videos from me every single week. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.